What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Matt and I Show. Glad to have you guys here today. And we got another banger for you. Okay. Now, I wish this whole Venezuela thing was a joke. I really wish it was a joke because this news broke Saturday and is only getting worse by the day. Okay. You have the Trump administration, Trump himself, they're acting like this is a reality TV show. And we're talking about a president, as illegitimate as he may be, but this is still a president of another country. And we're just going to talk about how did we even get here? Let's back up a little bit and let's talk about how random this whole situation was in the first place. Play the first clip. All right. So as you can see here, let's talk about the leading up to this. So we start here in December. Trump gives this sweetheart pardon to a drug kingpin president, right? So remember, if you remember, Trump pardoned the president of, I think it was, what was the name of the country? Honduras. It was Honduras. Pardon this guy. And then in January, Trump bombs a country to arrest a drug kingpin, right? So at one end, he pardoned a drug kingpin, and then he said, you know what, we're going to bomb this country, Venezuela, because they're pretty much bringing in fentanyl, even though they're not bringing in fentanyl into the country. That's mainly through Mexico, but that's another story. Now, it says, if you think this is about the war on drugs, you're fooling yourself. And we're going to talk about that. And the next clip we have here is another breakdown here. So we have the largest oil reserves in the world is actually in Venezuela. And then the largest oil producer in Africa is where? It's in Nigeria. And then one of the largest underdeveloped rare earth mineral deposits outside of China is in Greenland. Now, it doesn't take a rocket science to know that all three of these countries we're in some type of conflict with right now. Okay. You know, whether it's Venezuela, Nigeria, and Greenland. And guess what? Trump has been bombing boats off the coast of Venezuela. On Christmas, Trump attacked and striked Nigeria. And then Trump renews his threat of military force to annex Greenland.
Let me add one more thing to that, Ice, real quick. Don't forget Canada. We were talking a lot of junk about Canada. Canada has a lot of what? Oil. I just wanted to put that out there too, even attacks on Canada. Canada has a lot of oil. So it's kind of a theme in this.
Yeah. And I'm glad you mentioned Canada because Canada had something to say about it. Not their official government, but this is a clip here that shows what Canada had to say about the United States. Go ahead, read that for me, Matt.
Okay, Canada hates Trump. This is bad, man. The peace president just announced a unilateral bombing and regime change in Venezuela. No Congress, then scheduled a press conference at Mar-a-Lago, the same venue where Vanilla Ice recently performed with the Ninja Turtle. America is no longer a serious, I can't see the last part, but probably no more a serious country. I guess is what they're saying. I can't see the last part, but yeah.
I know. I think Vanilla Ice was, I saw that like for the New Year's Eve thing, Stephen Miller, it was, I think they were performing at his thing, right? Ice Baby. And that's my name, Ice. What's your thoughts on that, Matt?
It's pretty much like I said, man. I mean, it's pretty simple. I think obviously, you know, if it's people back here might be like, oh man, Trump is giving it to him. Yeah. But on the international scale, he's embarrassing himself. He's embarrassing the country. And we probably are getting mollywopped. And it's even with this takeover of Venezuela, it's probably a lot of things that are going to go wrong. A lot of things are going to go wrong. It's going to be terrible. And, you know, they're going to just keep deflecting. But obviously, we're not taking it seriously across the world as we once were.
Yeah, absolutely. And not only are we not taking it serious, I don't think other countries are taking us serious because at this point, Trump needs a bully. Not a bully. Trump needs to feel like he's bullying somebody. At first, it was enough to beat on crooked Hillary, as he would say, and his Democratic, political enemies, as he called it. Then he had to go to something higher because you just got to hit it a little bit harder. Now that thing didn't hit him as much. Now it's like, okay, I got to pick on international people. And now I have to try to take over countries. You have a takeover spirit. And it's unfortunate because with all his health concerns, you would think that this president would be a little bit more chill. But they got to lead this stuff up until the midterm elections, and you're going to see more and more erratic behavior as the days, the weeks, and the months come. And like I said, welcome to 2026. But moving along, we're going to talk a little bit about how the Democratic response is. The Democrats, because everybody's saying, where's the Democrats? What do the Democrats have to say about it? Play this first clip.
Californians all over the state, and going into Venezuela and, quote, running that country ranks at about 200th on their priorities. They're not focused on Venezuela. They're focused on the cost in Ventura and Vallejo, the rent in Los Angeles, and the grocery prices in Pasadena. And they have no faith that Donald Trump can run a country. He couldn't run a casino, and now he's going to run a country in South America while we watch as he fails to run a country in North America. That doesn't add up, and neither does this whole concept that we're going to get the oil from Venezuela and that it will pay for itself, essentially. We heard that over 20 years ago from George Bush, that we'd get the oil from Iraq, and that cost us $3 trillion.
Matt?
Well, I say this. So, I mean, obviously made really good points in that video, but I think when it comes to Trump, it just doesn't matter, man. It just doesn't matter. You know, because Trump will get in front of the millions and millions of American voters and just lie. He's got to the point, too, where he'd do something so unpopular that his strategy afterwards is to force everybody to shut the heck up and praise him. So I think at this point, I think even calling out like the hypocrisy doesn't even really matter, because if you attack him too much, he's going to change the narrative and try to shut you up so he doesn't have to hear it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And all what that congressman said was 100% facts. And one of the things that really stuck out to me, he said he couldn't even run a casino. Like, it's just mind-boggling that this is the president of the United States of America in 2026. And I have to say, big failure. And I have to say big failure on us as the United States, as American people, because we essentially voted for this. Now, I didn't vote for it. Matt didn't vote for it. We didn't vote for it. But you had a big chunk, 80 million people in this country who thought that this guy, after seeing Trump 1.0, said, you know what? Sign me up for Trump 2.0. I really want to see what that looked like. So it's just crazy. And here's what Bernie Sanders had to say about the whole situation. And I think this is where a lot of Americans are. We wanted to just kind of show what the Democrats had to say, what their response is. This is where a lot of Americans are. Roll the clip. Now it says, President Trump does not have the constitutional authority to attack another country. When 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, he should focus on the crisis at home, in his illegal military adventurism, and stop trying to run Venezuela for big oil. Now, I actually tend to agree with that. I agree with that because you have people, and me, I'm a financial coach, so I deal with people every single day. And when I talk about people living paycheck to paycheck, I think it's more than 60%. That's what the stats say. But I would say probably closer to 80%, maybe even 90%. And credit card debt, student loans, people can't even afford to pay their rent. And on top of that, let alone buy a home. So I do think that the American people want to focus on affordability, but we can't get to affordability because this president is still distracting from the Epstein files. Let's not forget that, because through all of this mess, Trump is going to keep adding up the pressure and say, you know what? I got to find a way to distract from my issues, like the Epstein files, like the bad economy numbers, like the job reports. And I'm going to keep adding more pressure to it.
No, I agree.
Yeah. So moving along, we want to hear now, what is the MAGA response? Because we always want to see, okay, what they doing over there in MAGA, right? You would think that, you know what? They can't be okay with this, because a lot of them said, no more wars. We don't want wars. We want to make America great again. So let's see what MAGA had to say about it. Pull up the tweet. Now we can see here, this is the article on CNN. It says Trump's MAGA allies mostly rallied behind his Venezuela strike. Now I find that pretty rich, Matt. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, obviously, I think they're just trying to cover their own ass. I think they're more afraid of Trump and the consequences. I mean, they see what's happening with MTG, right? They don't want to end up like that. And at this point, bro, that dude can drop a bomb full of panties, and they'd be like, "Well, it was strategic, man. Trump had to do what he had to do, man." At this point, man, he just got them whipped into shape. And a lot of them, and I'll be honest, a lot of them are not prepared. I don't even think a lot of these people even got into office to serve. Now, some did. They were like, "Hey, man, we had a cushy job. We were trying to make our money, do our little thing, have a little back and forth with the Republican Party, with the Democratic Party, talk our junk and go home and make our money." Now he's putting us in the hot spot. Every time I wake up, you hear Mike Johnson talk about, "Oh man, I barely get any sleep." Yeah, because Trump's calling you all times of the hour. So I just think at the end of the day, man, he not only is he flooding the American population with shit, he's also flooding his own party, which is crap all the time. And they don't even know how to handle it. They just give up. They throw in the towel.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And they just kind of acquiesce. Let's just call it what it is. They rolled over and just let Trump do whatever he wants. And I'm gonna have to say no to that, because that is not Congress's job. Congress is supposed to push back on the president. And you never see that with the Republicans. You never see that. These guys are very pretty much in Trump's pocket. He runs the Congress. He tells them what to do. He sets the agenda and tells them what to do. And that's interesting, because if you listen to Marco Rubio, and this is one of the guys who said, you know what? He was anti-Trumper, a never-Trumper, and he went off on Trump. And now just to see him, how he rolls over for Trump, and he sounds so crazy now. Listen to what he had to say. Play the clip.
The Congressional Gang of Eight has a history of not leaking, but you mentioned the indictment of Mr. Maduro, and of course it does detail his drug-running operations. In the same jurisdiction, the former president of Honduras was actually convicted on similar charges, yet the president pardoned him. Here's what the vice chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee, Mark Warner, had to say about that. He said, "You cannot credibly argue that drug trafficking charges demand invasion in one case while issuing a pardon in another." What's your response?
Well, the president has the pardon authority. He's the one that reviewed the file with the folks at the White House to make these pardon decisions, and I refer questions to them on it because I'm not involved in the pardon process. So I can't comment on that because I wasn't involved in that process. But the president outlined yesterday that he felt that in that particular case there was unfairness, and that there was unfairness in the way that individual was treated. And he also pointed to the fact that the party that's now won the elections in Honduras had asked for this. And so I would point to those comments as a rationale for it. In the case of Maduro, look, it's very simple. This guy was indicted. No one ever did anything about it. He didn't think he was under threat or that the indictment was ever going to be enforced. It was enforced yesterday.
Hernandez was convicted by a jury.
I understand. You're asking me. The pardon authority is something that, I'm not involved in my role. I'm not criticizing it. I can't just comment on it because I just wasn't involved in those deliberations.
Do you support it?
I wasn't involved in those deliberations. I haven't looked at the case file. I haven't looked at the arguments made by, I've got a bunch of other things going on that are within my purview as Secretary of State and National Security Advisor, but pardons aren't one of them. So I can't comment on a case that, frankly, I'm aware of, but not deeply and familiar with, and I don't want to comment on something that I haven't had a chance to be involved in reviewing the file and the rationale behind it.
Matt?
I mean, this is classic Trump, scheme on top of a scheme on top of a scheme. Well, Marco Rubio really says that, hey, I wasn't a part of that scheme. I wasn't a part of that grift. I don't know what's going on over there. And I think this is something that's common with Trump. He has so much BS going on, so many schemes, knick-knack, paddywhacks, going on. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Bastardly deeds, and dirty tricks that I think Marco Rubio is like, oh my God, I wasn't involved in that, right? But he's an accessory to this crime because he's a part of the administration. And this is also what happens when you, give President pretty much as much immunity as we gave President Trump. And secondly, when you give somebody who's a two-time convicted felon immunity, they're going to keep committing crimes. And I think Marco Rubio is just trying to cover his ass at the end of the day. Whether you like the guy or not, I think he's just trying to cover his ass so he doesn't end up in a situation after President Trump is no longer in office.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail right on the head. And when I was listening to him, the first thing I kept thinking was,
lie detector determined that was a lie.
Like, come on, man. Like, bro, the way that man was blinking, like he blinked at least 60 times in that little small clip. And that's one of the key things when somebody is just nervous or lying or just like, okay, did I say everything right? Because we know Trump watching us. We got to make sure we say everything right. And it's just so sad. because Trump called this guy Little Marco. That's what Trump called the guy. Okay. And Marco Rubio wants to be president. He does. And he's going to go up against JD Just Dance fans. He's going to go up against them in 2028. These guys are, I don't know, maybe they have a mutually connection where they say they're going to run for vice president, want to be on the ticket, right, with the president, vice president. But Marco Rubio, this guy knows. He knows like all of this is crazy. He knows that, but he can't say anything. And he's just trying to bide his time, wait his time out, and just say, well, I wasn't involved in that. I don't know nothing about that. And that gives him plausible deniability.
Wow,
but,
what a strategy.
I know, right? And so moving on, we're going to go to our last subject. And this is really a funny one because me and Matt, we talked about this earlier on before we did this show. And we talked about, we travel a lot. We go around the country and we just kind of, see how America is. And if you travel, listener, you will notice a key thing too as well about Americans. A lot of us are in our own little bubbles. We don't really get outside. We don't really know our neighbor. We don't really know how the world works. And we just say stuff and do stuff. And this is a clip that plays and shows a little bit of part of this. And I want to play this clip and get your reaction on the other side. Play the clip.
You guys. I was born and raised here too, and all I speak is English. I'm bilingual, so I speak Spanish and I speak English. What other language you speak? English is the capital of America.
I don't care. I don't care.
Mexico.
No, Mexico. I'm from Cuba. I'm from Puerto Rico.
We're not from Mexico. Go back to Puerto Rico. See? We pay taxes here, man. What are you talking about? You pay taxes. Yeah. Yeah, you still our money to pay taxes. Hell no. I worked. I had 2 jobs. So what are you talking about? I'm standing up for America. I'm a USA citizen too. What are you talking about? Excuse me, man. Just being racist to me. Just because I speak Spanish, just being racist, man. Really? Yeah,
Really?
What the we got a video, so it's okay. Okay, here's your speech. Hold on, man. We pay taxes too. We deserve to live here. What are you talking about? What's your problem?
Hey, I'm gonna give you your money back. We're not gonna serve you. I'm sorry about that.
Damn. You have to serve me. Hey, I got a video. Don't cry, baby. Don't cry. It's okay. Don't cry.
One second.
Damn. Don't cry, baby. Don't cry. Man. We haven't done anything wrong.
Yeah. No, I understand. I got you guys.
She's got mad because we speak Spanish. Come on. Don't cry, baby. Don't cry. Man. We are in the century 21. How she's gonna be racist? I am not racist. Yes, you are. I am standing up for America. I got you in the video.
Yeah.
I got you in the video.
That's
No,
okay.
I'm not racist.
Ma'am, you can go ahead and leave.
I got you in the video.
Yes.
No.
Ma'am, Mary, you can leave. Leave.
That's real bad, man.
Let's have her leave.
That's real bad, man.
You're
not
gone.
doing nothing wrong.
Man, we're not gonna serve you.
Damn, that's real bad, man.
Bro, I'm sorry. We appreciate you guys as customers.
Okay. Okay. So, Matt.
Yeah, I had to kind of look this up, man. And this is going to be the most interesting thing about this, right? In my opinion, right? So, how did they convince 46% of Hispanics to vote for Trump? Like that's when you look back at this, right? I mean, you and me look at that. That's no surprise. There's no surprise, bro. We know this. It was more surprising when you look back on it that 46% of the Hispanic population voted for Trump. Compared to 51% for Harris. So 46% of the population voted for a group which had a large number of people who really thought they should just be shipped out of this country. So that's the most interesting thing. I think we look back on it. That's the thing that stands out to me the most. I had to kind of look at the numbers again to kind of go, kind of make sure I got them right.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. And shout out to that Pizza Hut guy, the crew members there, because they said, lady, you got to go. We're not going to do this. You're not going to treat our customers like this. And the lady said that they didn't belong here because they spoke Spanish. Yeah. And this is how this stuff is permeated from the top all the way down to the everyday average person. And that woman looked like she had some health issues. I mean, she was a little overweight, kind of look, and no shot at her. But what I'm saying is that this stuff permeates from the top and it just goes way down to the bottom. And now you got everyday people like this woman thinking that she could just say whatever she wants to say to people. And to your point, Matt, which is really interesting, a lot of people signed up for it. A lot of our Hispanic brothers and sisters said, you know what? This is our guy. Again, I don't understand. And a lot of people would probably not have sympathy for a situation like that. I'm not going to do that. But what I will say is that we're getting a master class in Trump 2.0, 1.0, 2.0. We're getting a master class in how to vote, why voting matters, why you should be actively participating in the situation, and also make your voice known and not just voting off vibes. So, and that brings us to our last clip here. And this is kind of like a bonus clip here. I wanted to show you this because the president did a press conference at Mar-a-Lago about the Venezuela situation. Now, this press conference was supposed to have taken place at 11 o'clock, and actually it didn't start till like 12 o'clock. Okay, whatever. But this president, I don't know. I'm starting to think twice now. Like, what is he really involved in this situation? This happened during his press conference, and play the clip. Look, we'll talk about it. Just play the clip.
35s, F-18s, EA-18s, E-2s, B-1 bombers, and other support aircraft, as well as numerous remotely piloted drones. As the force began to approach Caracas, the Joint Air Component began dismantling and disabling the air defense systems in Venezuela, employing...
Matt?
Well, I think two things are happening, right? I think one, obviously, I mean, we see Trump is getting older. Something is happening with his health, physical health. And second, Michael Cohen talked about this on his Michael Cohen show. Shout out to Michael Cohen. He talked about this, that Trump gets bored and has a short attention span. And when he's not talking, he tunes out. So I think both things can be true at the same time. One, he's getting older, his health. And secondly, when he's not talking, he gets bored and tunes out. He has a short attention span. So I think both things are happening right there in that clip.
I think he don't know where he at. That could be health concerns. I don't even think the guy know where he at. And he's looking like, where's the bed? Like, why am I even here? Almost kind of like, why am I here? And that's crazy because, that's a red flag. That is definitely a red flag. And so just wanted to send a little humor to you guys. Thank you for watching the show. Like our video, subscribe, and hit the comment button. Give us a comment on this video. Let us know how we did. Talk to you soon.